So we've had a look at the space plan, and we potentially could fit you into one of the new areas of space. I mean, did you ever think about if you would be able to work in a smaller footprint?
But how much is this new rent going to be? Because it's tough as it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's 25 grand a year. So it's I mean, you're paying at the moment. Let me just get a copy of your contracts up on the screen. You're paying more over Christmas, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right. So it's for November and December. It's $550 a week, isn't it? And then January to October, it's $350 a week.
Yeah.
So if we take it as a total of 45 weeks, so basically it's £20,000 a year that you're paying now for the space, and under the new tariff it's 25.
That's gone up, is it 25%?
So it's gone up 25%.
But isn't it the same way as if I say to you, look, Andy, I'm struggling, can you put the rent down a bit? No, it's in the contract. Now it's the other way around. And do you see where I'm coming from?
No, I do.
It's
It's a problem for me because it's quite embarrassing for me because our new boss has come in from the bull ring and he's seen the way that they've moved on and the way that they've done it in Brent Cross and they've done it in Leicester, and he wants it done that way. And we've got no say so in the way that it works. I mean, did I show you the kiosk slide design?
no.
The way that the kiosks, and this is only like a rough sketch, sorry, of how they look. The next stage from this is the designers then decide, right, okay, we're going to make it out of aluminium and stone or zinc and copper, or how it's going to be lit, how it's going to be. Basically, what the landlord's brief is that these will be like arty pieces even before your stuff goes onto it.
Right.
So people walk in and go, right, okay, wow, it's not colourful because obviously it'll be either metal or it'll be stone, but it's something that won't chip, won't will last a long time, and that's why we're willing to spend £20,000 on each of these, because we want them to look right. And whereas like the Bagman is on one of our RMUs, but the display for that is awful and there's crap everywhere, we want that gone. Like mobile accessories is another one.
But then why didn't they tell us this when we all signed up in like January, February?
Because our asset manager hasn't told us.
But they should have. They really should have, because
It's one of those things that the powers that be, they decide something, they get the owners to sign it off in South Africa to give us the money, because this is £500,000, and then we're the last place, so actually we're doing this, and you've got to make it happen.
but
I'm not saying that it's right, but that's just where we are, and I've got to make it work. But I need to know how you feel about it, and I know you're upset because we're having to give you the formal notice and all the rest of it. Our London designers will come in and say, right, okay, for your sort of business, we think you need this, that and the other. And you can turn around and say, well, actually, I need this. So there's a dialogue, and we can then lock you in and us in on a minimum of a 3-year contract.
So will they all be on 3 years contracts then, all the RMUs?
Yes, they will. I mean, there won't be any traditional RMUs left by the time we finish the project. So that the likes of the E-Light people, they're on a year's contract, and that I haven't got a client for that space just at the moment. Where the guys are doing the cosmetics.
Makeup man.
Yeah, makeup man. You know, again, there'll be nothing like that in the mount then. Because this contract is what this contract is, we'll bring this contract to an end as of this week, as the thing says. But if you want to stay in short term whilst we're deciding, I could do a short term contract for say a month whilst we decide if we can accommodate and if you want to come into the new system.
But when will the new system start?
It'll be about September. So, because basically once we've got all the pre-lets done, then the units have got to be finally designed for each occupier and then built. So it's probably going to be mid-September, I would say.
If there'd be any way of me going now, just coming back for the Christmas, and then that's me gone for good. Because that's all I work for all year, it's just that 2 months.
You could book Mal space if we've got it available. Yeah, we could do that. Potentially, yeah. Obviously, when you're in just Mal space for those 2 months, the price is more expensive.
No, but I'd expect it to be, because I'm being absolutely crapped on here. I really am. You know, I mean, fair enough, the contract didn't mean nothing to you guys, but
it's not that it doesn't mean anything, but it's
got to be honest. This is now just the honesty stage.
Yeah.
I think of every time that I was picked on about certain things, I'm thinking, if I could have turned around and said, look, this contract means nothing, leave me alone. You know, I think to myself, I've been abused. That's how I feel. I feel like, you know.
Okay. Let me have a look at availability then for. Where it is. Right, at the moment, I've got an area on the ground floor. So something like that is available, but at that time of year, November and December, it's peak. So that's 1,000 a week.
But it's unrealistic in thinking that it would have been the standard price if I was just left alone. As in, I pay $5.50.
Yeah, but because we can't guarantee that we'll fill that for the rest of the year. That's why during November and December, when we can fill that 3 or 4 times over, that's 1,000 a week. So if you wanted that space, it's available. I could book it, but that's the price.
But couldn't you get it at?
I couldn't get that any cheaper at all, because I can fill that.
Well, is there any way you can stick me for the same price I pay now, anywhere in the mouth?
No, not just for November and December.
Well, what about October, November and December?
Yeah, but it's not November and December because he's already paid.
I've already done
5 months of the year.
I realise that, but every year this space generates that amount of money, and I've got to be able to show that I'm doing the same as last year at least.
Yeah, but I ain't had that sort of money.
And,
that I
and in
couldn't.
November you don't even earn that sort of money.
No, you really don't. I've never known anyone to want that for November. I've never known anyone to want it. You must see how unfair this is. You really must see how unfair this is.
Yeah, I've got no choice. I'm having to do what
You know, this
I'm
is
told,
this
to be
is
honest.
absolutely. Who actually tells you what to do? I mean,
As I say, there's an asset manager who used to be working for a company called Hammerson that looks after the Bull Ring and several other ones, and it's his brainchild, and I just have to make it happen. I've got a financial target that I've got to achieve, and you know this is how we're going to achieve it. We've already got a lot of interest in the new kiosks, so we've already pre-let 3.
Yeah, but all this should have been arranged for next year, or we should have been told up front.
Yeah, you've let 3, but you haven't let your people here know that you've let 3 already.
We have, yeah.
That's a disgrace.
It's just the way it is, unfortunately.
You know, at the end of the day, Kevin's customers are your footfall.
Yeah, no, I
And
understand.
if his customers knew what West Orchard was doing to him, you know, they'd be appalled.
Yeah, I can't change what's been done. As I say, the situation is that we can either work on working together to do your deal on one of these, or we can sell you some mail space just for the peak weeks, or we just part company and just as the letter states, it will terminate
But then
Sunday night.
It's given me such a... It's totally unfair. It's totally unfair.
Yeah. Okay. I mean they're the options. That's really all I can do.
What was the point of me signing the contract when I got here? We might as well have drew a picture of Mickey Mouse and signed that. See, the problem is I know this mal quite well because I'm down there.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to get any busier next year. So the rent will go up, but it's just going to smother everybody. It's not going to get that much busier. Not to foot these new... The place is what it is.
I mean, your shops have had a decrease in rents.
They have.
I mean, Mr. Leatherman's taking over. You know, the mal ain't going up. We're still in a recession, and
I mean, they're
And at the end of the day, Bullring is massive. This
I understand.
fits in
Yeah.
a little corner of
Yeah.
Bullring.
No, I understand that.
You've got out there buckets collecting drips. Your banister is full of yellow and black tape.
Mm-hmm.
3 is looking a disgrace with their counters.
Yeah, it's all being changed.
You know,
Well, the buckets collecting drips, they were out last week to seal the roof, so they didn't fix them all because there's still a drip just there, but they're working on those. The balustrade was hit by a cherry picker installing Debenham signage, and they came 3 weeks ago to fit the new thing and they bought the wrong one. So they're all being done.
so where would he be positioned?
You would be next to the 3 mobile stand. So where you've got
yeah,
there, you'd be in that space between the pillar and the end of the bob ride.
And it isn't possible for him to stay in the same place that he's now.
There isn't, no. So that's the location we're talking about.
right. How long have we got to think about this?
Well, that's up
Pretty
to
much
you.
a week.
That's up to you, Kevin. If you decide that you want to think about it this week and then you want to go, then
Right.
obviously that's fine. But Sunday night, that terminates. I would need everything off the mall by Monday night.
Gotcha.